All right, so with all of the ongoings today in class with the HMH taking a while, I'm going to go ahead and make a quick video instead of posting the Zoom about the introduction to the layers of the atmosphere. Now, before we really start with the layers of the atmosphere, I feel like there are two terms that I really want to talk about that will come into play. And that is going to be the word altitude and obviously the word atmosphere. And they are very important because if we don't understand them, and I'm not too sure how we can really understand the next few vocabulary words that we might come to. So anytime that we are talking and we start using the word atmosphere, we are going to know that the atmosphere is all of the air surrounding the Earth. All of the air surrounding the Earth. Now, when I say there are layers of the atmosphere, you know that there are going to be different layers of the air that surrounds the Earth. And in each different layer, there are going to be some very specific things that take place. Another vocabulary word that you're going to see today, and we're going to talk about a little bit, is altitude. Altitude is pretty simple. It is how high something is above the Earth's surface. So it is extremely possible today that you're going to hear me using the words atmosphere. And when we hear the word atmosphere, I just want you to think that that has got to be something to do with the air surrounding the Earth. And you're going to hear the word altitude, and that depends on how high we are above the Earth. Now, much like clouds, the layers of the atmosphere depend on their altitude. And the higher we go, we start to change. We start to shift from one layer of the atmosphere to another. And within each layer, there are very specific things that happen and they're very unique to that layer. And all of the layers work together to help Earth function the way that Earth functions. Again, this is kind of a repeat here, but the Earth is surrounded by layers of gases called the atmosphere. And you can see them in the background here: Exosphere, Thermosphere, Mesosphere, Stratosphere, and Troposphere. And all of them, they work together. And what they do as they work together is they help things on Earth work the way that they should. If we did not have each layer doing their job, I'm not 100% sure there would be life on Earth, because each layer does something that's very, very important that leads to it either supporting another layer, or it keeps harmful things away from Earth, or it does something in particular that allows things on Earth to function the way that they should. Really just mentioned this, so if you want to think about, all of these things are working together and they keep life functioning on Earth. And I think the biggest question is, Mr. Bowens, how in the world do you expect me not only to remember what each layer does, but remember the exact order of each layer? And it's been a few years ago, but I remember sitting in planning, and it was me, Mrs. Wall, Miss Saunders, and we were sitting there thinking, how in the world can we help these kids? They always struggle with layers of the atmosphere, and that is when Miss Saunders came up with something very cool. Now, with that being said, please do not annoy her with this. I can only imagine like 9 or 10 years later with kids still saying, thank you, Miss Saunders, every day. After a while, that would probably get old. But you could tell her thanks once, especially when you make a great grade on the quiz this week. Just remember, everybody thank Miss Saunders today. Everybody thank Miss Saunders today. And if you write it like this, you pretty much have the layers of the atmosphere, and we'll take a look at it like this. I'm going to go over one slide. I'm going to switch over to this really quickly and just kind of draw a very quick Earth. And and it would go something like this. If you're thinking about from the outermost layer to the innermost layer, get back to my pen, because the layers of the atmosphere are going to go like this. You'll have everybody starts with an E. Exosphere starts with an E. So here's, whoa, that's not what I wanted to do. So here is one layer, and that's the outermost layer. So everybody. Think. Think starts with a TH. Thermosphere starts with a TH. Everybody think. Right here in the middle is the Mesosphere. In the middle starts with an M. Whoops, that should be misses. Let me go back and redo that. Got ahead of myself there. There we go, that's more like it. Misses starts with an M. Mesosphere starts with an M, and this actually happens to be the middle layer as well, which starts with an M. Saunders starts with an S. Stratosphere starts with the S. Everybody think Miss Saunders. When do we thank her? Not tomorrow. Today. Today starts with the T. And because there are two that start with the T, I'm glad this TH works, because this one is actually going to start with a T, but it's TR. You'll hear it called Troposphere, Troposphere, Mesosphere, Mesosphere. Again, that's potato. That's niche and niche. Any of those are fine. So this is my layers of the atmosphere. Everybody think Miss Saunders today. I can remember that. You can remember that. Then you just have to put these together. Exosphere, thermosphere, mesosphere, stratosphere, troposphere. Feel free to pause the video here and keep taking notes if you want. I'm going to bounce back to Nearpod and move this thing back to where it's supposed to be. All right. Let's think about these different layers, because they all have something very special. You will have to take time to watch the videos in here, so I can't show those on my own video. And you will have to do the draw it on your own. And exosphere. Exosphere. What is important about the exosphere? Well, it's probably just this top portion is what I would take notes on. It is the last layer of the atmosphere. It's the first thing to interact with the sun's radiation. There's that word already from the last topic that we covered, radiation. It is the thinnest of all layers, but it kind of blends into space. So if you're thinking exosphere, you could probably be in the exosphere, and I'm not too sure you'd really be able to tell much difference between you and like outer space. But you might see some satellites orbiting here, and that's you when you say, aha, I'm probably in the exosphere. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the exosphere. It doesn't show up a lot. You'll even watch some of the videos in here that some scientists don't even consider it one of the layers of the atmosphere, although most of the ones that I've looked at do, so we're going to keep it in our notes. Exosphere. There are some great videos that you need to watch on exosphere. But everybody think. Thermosphere starts with a TH. Think starts with a TH. And here is the layer just under the exosphere. So exosphere is thermosphere. The thermosphere is extremely important. And it's important for quite a few reasons. It does tend to get pretty hot in the thermosphere. I know for a while people think the higher you go, the colder you get. But we even said during first quarter that's not necessarily always true. If I'm taking notes, however, on the thermosphere, I am jotting this down. The International Space Station orbits the Earth in the thermosphere. The International Space Station orbits the Earth in the thermosphere. These other facts in here are important, but you do not have to write them down. It's just extra facts to kind of get you a little bit more excited about the thermosphere. There is something else about the thermosphere that's very exciting. This is where you will find the aurora borealis, also known as the northern lights. So in your notes, I would jot down in the thermosphere, not only is that where the International Space Station orbits, this is where you will find the aurora borealis or the northern lights. You can kind of see what's going on with those in the background. This paragraph explains how it happens in the thermosphere. These charged particles kind of bounce off of each other. And when they do that, this natural phenomenon occurs. It's called the aurora borealis or the northern lights, and you should know both names. So everybody thank Mrs. or the mesosphere or the middle. This is really simple. What's the most important thing about the mesosphere that also starts with M and it's in the middle? Well, you have meteors burn up in the mesosphere. Mr. Bullen, seriously, like the most important thing about the mesosphere also starts with an M? Luckily for us, yes. And typically this is the only thing that I really see on tests and quizzes about the mesosphere. But it's a huge thing. If it weren't for the mesosphere, we might look like this on Earth. And that could be like our town or our house, and we would no longer be here. It'd be flat Mr. Bullens and flat Reagans in books, but we would no longer be around, and that would not be a good thing. Thank goodness the mesosphere is there, and that's where the meteors burn up typically when they come into our atmosphere. And there's some fantastic videos that you can watch about that are located in these slides as well. Everybody thank Mrs. Saunders. Saunders starts with an S. Stratosphere starts with an S. The stratosphere is pretty interesting. And it's interesting for multiple reasons, but the two big reasons, the number one reason, probably the most important reason, is the ozone layer is located here. What is the ozone layer? Well, it says right here. It is the layer that protects the Earth from the sun's UV radiation, or the sun's UV rays. We've heard about the sun, we've heard about radiation, we've heard about UV rays before. We just studied that in conduction, convection, radiation. Now we're already seeing that we're building on that knowledge with the fact that the stratosphere, inside of that layer, inside of that sphere, is another little layer called the ozone layer. And the ozone layer protects the Earth from the sun's UV rays. And we had a good laugh about that. We talked about the UV rays and how back in the day, like in the early 80s, people used quite a bit of hairspray. And that hairspray, because of the CFCs that were in the hairspray, we realized we were damaging the ozone layer. And when your hair is this big, okay, ask some parents about this, see if they remember any of this. When your hair is that big and you use that much hairspray, you can damage the ozone layer. Well, we figured it out because we're scientific. And when we figured that out, we started using different things in hairsprays, and the ozone layer luckily repaired itself. Another amazing thing about the stratosphere is planes like to fly in the lower part of the stratosphere because there's not a lot of turbulence and wind and weather going on there. So you'll notice that planes get up and then they get to this point and they kind of just coast along here in the stratosphere, just above, just at the very top of the troposphere. A little bit more, they get into the stratosphere, and there's no turbulence there, which is a lot of turbulence in the troposphere, which is just below it. Speaking of the troposphere, everybody thank Mrs. Saunders. Today, troposphere, T and T, not TH, because that's the thermosphere. The troposphere is very important. Why is it important? Well, this is the layer that we live in. We live in the troposphere. Weather, most weather, happens here. If you look outside today, there's some weather going on, right? It's cold and rainy. That happens in the troposphere. In the summer, when it's nice and sunny and beautiful, troposphere. Weather occurs in the troposphere. Mr. Bullens, is that really all that we need to kind of figure out? I learned the order. Everybody thank Miss Saunders today. And then what happens inside of those layers, and that's it? That is it. That's all we really need to know before we start digging into weather. So don't go too crazy with this. Just learn those layers and you will be fine. And don't forget, thank Miss Saunders today.